All right, what's going on there, folks? Good evening. It is Earthmaster here checking in on this January 22nd, 2021 is the date, 7:32 p.m. West Coast time here in California. And latest earthquake over there around the, 5.0 out here. It looks like around the, let's take a look at that real quick, right around the China area. Seen a little bit of activity over there. Prior to this most recent quake, 5.0. Of course, we've seen a pretty good influx of earthquakes there following that 7.0 that struck there south of Philippines and around the Indonesia area just a while ago. Day or so ago, 36 hours, somewhere around there. Activity kind of ramping up still within that vicinity. Let's go ahead and check out the latest information there. Checking out the Solomon Islands station right there. It kind of looks like there's something brewing there. See that station right there, Solomon Islands? Looks a little bit bigger. I don't think that 5.0 would show up there in that area. That kind of looks like a little bit bigger quake, so we'll have to get back to that here in just a second. See if they update the latest information there. But for now, I just see a 5.0 over there around the China region. Right? 5.0. Solomon Islands sits way over here, so it's possible. Potentially we could be picking it up there on that station. We'll see. Anyway, a lot to talk about here tonight, folks. Let's go ahead and check out the latest information here on that quake there. See that 5.0 out there around the China region in a very seismic activity, or seismically active region historically, so 5.0 just kind of a bump in the road there for the folks in that area of China. Checking out the latest information here from the USGS on this flat scale beautiful model. Shows not a whole lot of activity aside from the regions over here around China and into Iraq over here. Had a little small earthquake there, or Iran I should say, 4.0 in that region. West Coast seeing a little bit of activity as well. Nothing major. There is a little bit of increase in movement along the Elsinore fault. Is that how you pronounce it? Elsinore? Somewhere around there. And the Temecula section. This area has seen kind of an increase in activity following that 3.5 that struck there right around the Los Angeles area a couple days ago. So a very lengthy fault system that runs through the Pacific Plate here, but as far as stress and buildup goes, it's a lot less than, for example, the San Jacinto and also the San Andreas fault system there. But definitely potential for some earthquake activity on the rather large size in that region, but I don't believe we're going to see anything there just due to the last recent earthquake that struck in that vicinity. It's been fairly recent. San Jacinto fault area, definitely seen some little bit of swarming going on there. No major movement around the Salton Sea. Looks like a little small earthquake cluster there west of the Salton City area, about 3.3 kilometers downstream. No major movement along the San Andreas fault to report at the moment. Ridgecrest, Mammoth Lakes, Nevada, still seeing their typical aftershock sequence there. No major movement around the Yellowstone area. We can go ahead and check that real quick there. Let's go ahead and check that out on this page. Yellowstone overview there. Just shows a couple small microquakes up in the northwest corner of Yellowstone National Park, just outside of the caldera of that supervolcano. You can see a couple small defined spikes there, probably about 10 microquakes or so, maybe 15 earthquakes within this 24-hour period there in Yellowstone National Park there in the northwest corner. So no major swarming, just a little spitter spatter of some quakes there. Let's go ahead and check out Mount Hood real quick. The activity here shows very quiet for the most part. No major swarming to report there. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick here. As we zoom into the Mount Hood area, all magnitudes. USGS not showing anything there at Mount Hood. You can see no earthquakes there showing up. I'm trying to slow down my cursor. I got a habit of moving this thing around like crazy, but it's set very sensitive, but that's kind of how I like to keep it. So no earthquake movement there on the USGS map, okay? We'll go ahead and check out the couple of the GPS stations within the vicinity, right around where that earthquake swarm took place there a couple days ago, folks. A couple GPS stations there, GPS displacement and whatnot. Let's see if we can get that to pop up. Hopefully these guys will let me view the data. Ooh. Are these guys not going to let me? I just checked it out a minute ago. There we go. Okay. Kind of strange. So check out this displacement. Okay. We can go back in time to 2007. It looks very, you know, kind of going downstream and whatnot on a couple of the graphs here. We got the blue lines indicating raw data to the east, raw data to the north in the green, and raw data up in the brown. Check out the green and the blue there. So that would be the east and the north. Check out that huge spike of displacement there on the GPS stations. On the blue and the green. I am not seeing anything here on the brown, which would indicate uplift. But the displacement of the east and the north is very well defined and very well, what are we looking at here? From this area to about way up here, maybe potentially, oh, a meter. It looks like maybe not quite a meter, but still definitely some well-defined uplift there. Not uplift, but displacement on the GPS station. And that's back in, it looks like prior to just the first of 2021. I can't get any other most, you know, as far as like real-time data at the moment. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I can get this baby to pop up. I'm not for sure why it's doing that. A couple different maybe I need to wait a second. Patience? Yeah, maybe not. I just can't get those. There we go. Okay. It looks like there was maybe some error right there in some of these graphs right here. And this only goes to about August 20th of, or August 2020 of last year on this section here. Kind of just odd. A couple other stations. We'll go ahead and check the one up here to the north. Did I check this one out yet? I didn't. Some variables there, but that just includes the December event. So, at least right around the southern area where the earthquake swarm struck here, right, claiming strictly plate tectonics from the USGS, there was definitely some movement there being picked up on the spike there, but it hasn't. We haven't gotten any further data coming in there from the station. But definitely some movement. It looks like from the east into the north there. That's at Mount Hood. I wanted to see what was going on at Mount Rainier, okay? Because if you look at the USGS map here, we'll scoot on up here to Mount Rainier. You see that one little spike of an earthquake right there, just a 0.1 earthquake, 0.1. We can go back over the last 7 days, all magnitudes, and you can see just a couple sporadic earthquakes there. Just a couple sporadic in the microquake range, and that's the last 7 days. So I went ahead and went over here to the Mount Rainier Volcanic PNSN, right? Pacific Northwest Seismic Network page. You could see those 7 earthquakes or so within that vicinity, maybe a couple more. And I just wanted to check out the seismograph stations there in that region at Mount Rainier. So I went ahead and checked this one up here. View seismograph, right? It's one component short period. This is going to show today's activity over the last couple hours there. Not for sure what that is, but check out some of this activity here. If you guys know about Yellowstone, right? We've kind of watched the seismograph stations over the years of this channel, and you've seen what earthquakes are, or at least learned what earthquakes are on a seismograph station. They're well-defined spikes of activity, such as this. Something that is far away, you know, far as like a distant earthquake would be something like that, potentially. but we're getting quite a few specific spikes. And this is just the last couple hours. I want to show you guys something here. Check out yesterday. You guys see all this earthquake activity that's taking place there at Mount Rainier? Every single one of these, almost every single one of these spikes is an earthquake. There's at least 100 or more on this station yesterday. How about the day before yesterday? Check out those spikes, folks. That is some readings showing up on the seismograph stations there at Mount Rainier. This looks kind of like a distant quake there, and it's drawn out like that. But these specific sharp, very sharp spikes there indicating localized earthquakes. And it goes back. It goes back a little ways here. We'll go back a couple more days here, if it'll let me. There is quite the earthquake swarm going on there. These are just some small quakes. Definitely not being picked up on the Mount Rainier area. Look at, they got these this station here, these earthquakes that struck near Mount Hood and near Duval showing up there. See how you can see the distant earthquakes right there? They're kind of wavy and drawn out, not specifically spiked. So there's something odd about this, folks. If the USGS Volcanoes is not reporting this earthquake activity, this here looks like potentially wind events, I'm hoping. But other stuff, there's definitely a tremendous amount of quakes being picked up by this seismograph station. And it goes back for quite a while. There's a 2.9, right? 2.9 near Mount Rainier. You see how strong and significant the 2.9 shows up, right? It's a localized earthquake, and it's rather strong for this, right over this area, right over this seismograph station. But these other ones, these are all microquakes, roughly probably below 1.0, but they're earthquakes nonetheless. There's a lot of activity taking place at Mount Rainier on all of these seismograph stations there, okay? Something going on there. I want to check out real quick Mount Hood. Let me see if I have that set up here real quick. Let's go back to the tremor map. Volcanic, seismic activity, Mount Hood. Okay, and we'll check out, there's some other earthquakes that struck there a couple days ago. The swarming that took place there. Let's go ahead and check out a couple of these seismograph stations here, and we'll check out the activity that I kind of picked up here. That, some interference. Not for sure what that is. It's definitely not, I don't believe, earthquake activity. Some of this other long drawn out stuff here, when it's lengthy like this and kind of thick for a long drawn out period. Let me see if I can find a little bit better detail. That right there, see all that wavy stuff right there? That was from that large 7.0 that struck there south of the Philippines. It does show up on specific, pretty much on any seismograph station if you do have it the sensitivity set to pick up, pretty much anything. Let's see if I can find that. Hold on one second here. Maybe it wasn't this one. I could have swore I had seen something that looks like volcanic tremor. Volcanic harmonic tremor, I guess. Let's see here. I don't know if it was on this station, the BHZ, or the BHE station. Maybe this was it. A little bit different. I think this is it here, folks. This is set very sensitive. You can see the wavy lines and whatnot. So this is going to pick up a lot of stuff that's happening. And none of this is marked. Harmonic tremor. A volcanic harmonic tremor looks similar to something like this. I looked it up here on the Google site here, and you can see a couple of descriptions of what it looks like. Explosion. Harmonic tremor is kind of drawn out and thick, if you will, kind of thickish readings on the seismograph data right there. And it comes and goes. It's not specifically a huge, like kind of like a huge line, but it comes and goes as far as the data, as far as like the sensitivity of it. It comes in, I guess, kind of waves. Harmonic tremor. Here's another specific view. These are kind of like kid drawings. Let's see if we can find a different one. Harmonic tremor. There we go. Okay. This is kind of specifically pointing out harmonic tremor from which site is this? Zetatalk.com. Okay, you see that stuff right there? Very similar to some of this activity that we're seeing right there at Mount Hood. And these are running from about 1600 to about maybe, it looks like an hour and a half or so of activity. And then up here again, we kind of see that movement. Looks like for a little bit less than an hour on the 21st, right around that time when those earthquakes started hitting. But today, let's go back to yesterday here real quick. Yesterday, like I said, not a whole lot. There is still that. Let's go back to the VHE real quick. It's a little bit better to view. So this was right around, this activity kind of took place right around the time of that earthquake swarming that took place there in Mount Hood. And I'm not 100% certain if it is volcanic tremor, but I kind of wanted to bring it out and kind of point this out a little bit, that it could potentially be volcanic tremor there at Mount Hood. So we got that activity at Mount Hood, and then we have the weird, undeniable proof of some type of earthquake swarm going on there at Mount Rainier. And there are hardly any reports of earthquakes there from the USGS of this activity. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Come on. It's a little bit slow. Sometimes I'm not able to access it for some reason. But these are definitely earthquakes that are showing up. All of these are earthquakes, so there's a bunch. So something brewing, folks, there at Mount Rainier. Let's go ahead and check out a couple of the other stations there. Hold on one second here. I'll go ahead and go back here to this tremor map real quick, and we'll check out a couple of other areas, such as Mount St. Helens there. We'll check here right about the summit area, the 3-component broadband. See if we can access this one here from today. Pretty quiet. I don't see any earthquakes really. Maybe a couple small spikes there, but nothing like we're seeing there at Mount Rainier. It's kind of, let's go back here. Check out Mount Baker. Pretty clear. All the lines are flat for the most part. I mean, either. Wow. So that's hold on a second here. So this thing didn't even pick up that 7.0. So the earthquake, any earthquakes that take place around here would have to be rather strong there at Mount Baker to be able to even be picked up by the sensitivity that this is set at. It's set super duper high, so that means any activity would have to be rather strong for it to be even picked up at Mount Baker. I'm not for sure why it's like that, but just some odd activity, folks. I don't know, I'm not specifically pointing out USGS covering up anything, but there's definitely a swarm going on there at Mount Rainier, some type of earthquake swarm, and potential volcanic harmonic tremor there at Mount Hood, at least for that one day. it seemed like maybe a potential 2 incidents there that may have been harmonic tremor. It looks like it anyway, according to a lot of the harmonic tremor type graphs that have been verified, throughout past volcanic events. So, we will, we just have to keep an eye on it and trust the folks there at the USGS, right? Here's that 5.7 that struck. We talked about the Solomon Islands over here picking up an oddball reading on their seismograph stations. That is that 5.7 that struck there near Papua New Guinea. West of the Solomon Islands station, but it's definitely a good size. It's kind of a good sized earthquake there, so no doubt it definitely picked up on that seismograph station. So, my mouth is getting dry. So, looks like we're probably ramping up here for activity along the western part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. I mean, that's a pretty good sized quake there. Not deep. About 29 kilometers below surface. Check out the normal tremor map here along the Cascadia subduction zone. You can see some movement into northern California there, just specifically confined to that area. Looking at about 73 epicenters there along the Cascadia subduction zone there along the slippage area, down dip, down underground of the North American plate there. But as far as any surface quaking going on, not anything, actually nothing really to report there in Northern California. Looking pretty quiet there as far as surface quakes go. But we're kind of watching this, folks. Like I said, there's just too much stuff to ignore there at Mount Rainier when it comes to looking at the graphs and the potential volcanic harmonic tremor there at Mount Hood about a day or so ago, following that earthquake swarm. All right, folks, we're going to jump off here. Nothing to be worrisome about. Just always good to be prepared, and stay in tune. Of course, it's. Do I think the USGS would let us know if a volcano was going to blow? I don't know. They've been wrong about a lot of stuff before. And, I'm sure they try to do their best. But, there's some stuff that's kind of questionable. Hawaii looking pretty quiet. Not a whole lot of movement there. Just your ongoing activity there at Kilauea Volcano crater. Other than that, no major updates to report there in that region. All right, folks. Have a good night. We're out of here. Barbecuing up some ribs tonight. Enjoying the weather. We got the potential. Check this out. Here in a couple days, probably around Tuesday or so, we got a potential to get some snow down here in the valley floor of California, the Sacramento Valley. We haven't had significant snow here since about 1988. Measurable snow here in the valley. So if this rings true, it's going to be pretty awesome. I'll be out here live streaming, hopefully, if it does happen. I would love to see at least even like a trace or half an inch of snow. But of course, more the better, more the merrier. I'm definitely a winter weather lover, and to not have snow is pretty depressing. But we got lots of rain, lots of wind coming in, lots of storm systems, so hopefully we'll catch up and put a dent in the drought that's kind of gripped the western part of the states here. All right, guys, have a good night. I'm going to attend to the barbecue, and we'll chat to you guys a little bit later. Stay safe out there, everyone.